right, this is about simplifying square roots. There are two methods. This is just method number one. Again, if you don't like this method, you can always look at method number two to understand how to simplify square roots. This is not estimating, and this is also not calculating, not using your calculator. I actually want to simplify these square roots. One thing that will help you out is if you remember all the perfect square roots. So I'm going to come over to the side and just remind you some of the perfect square roots, like the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 16 is 4, the square root of 25 is 5, the square root of 36 is 6, the square root of 49 is 7, and so on and so on. So again, these are perfect square roots. So method number one is what you want to do is think of two square roots that will multiply together that will give you 24. And one of the square roots needs to come from this perfect square root. So I think of the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. And that will equal the square root of 24. But you notice square root of 4 is perfect, and the square root of 4 is 2. And so the simplified answer is 2 square root of 6. Let's try another one. The square root of 54. Again, you're trying to think of two square roots that multiply together that gives you 54. And one of them needs to come off of that perfect square root list. Again, off of this square root list right here. Well, I think of the square root of 9 times the square root of 6. That will equal the square root of 54. And notice the square root of 9 is off of that perfect list. So the square root of 9 is 3, and so 3 square root of 6 is the simplified square root. The square root of 125, again, you're thinking of two square roots that multiply together to give you 125. And one of them comes off of that perfect square root list. Well, I think of the square root of 25 times 5. The square root of 25 times the square root of 5 is the square root of 125. And notice that the square root of 25 is a perfect square root, and that makes it simplifies to 5. This is still inside the square root. So the simplified answer of square root of 125 is 5 square root of 5. Try one more. The square root of 80. Again, think of two square roots that multiply together to give you 80. And again, if you can't think of it, then you might want to, if you're not liking this method, then you can't think of those two numbers that multiply together that gives you 80, and one of them has to be perfect, then you might want to go to method number 2. A lot of people think 8 times 10. Well, again, one of them has to be perfect. So you have to understand which one of those square roots will multiply together. So I think of 16 times 5. So the square root of 16 times the square root of 5 is the square root of 80. And notice the square root of 16 is perfect. And so the simplified answer is 4 square root of 5. And let me address something else. Some people might say, well, the square root of 80, I thought of the square root of 4 times the square root of 20. Because 4 times 20 is 80, and the square root of 4 is perfect. And the square root of 4 is 2. So some students might put this. Well, the problem with that is, again, just like reducing a fraction, you have to reduce it all the way. You have to simplify square roots all the way. Notice the square root of 20 can still be simplified into two square roots. So the square root of 20 can be broken down as the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. And then again, the square root of 4 is perfect. And notice I got the same answer as here and there, but again, the method that I chose the biggest square root that's perfect, and that works out the best. Hopefully that helps you. Again, that's method number 1.